Colin Harvey was a great guy that I don't think he had an enemy in the world, and everybody liked him. He was always full of laughter and jokes, and he was just, everybody liked him. And when I went to his funeral at Terzic and Wilson, there was standing room only, standing outside, and there was from anybody to a Army guy, from a businessman in Oakdale to a rough-looking character. But he was just friends with everyone.
Colin Harvey was born on September 15, 1909 in Sonora, California, just off Ward's Ferry Road on his father's 150-acre ranch. He worked for his dad until age 13, and shortly after that left home and went to work in the mountains, tending sheep and cattle. Colin worked for many local ranchers such as Ellenwood, Woods, and Sanguinetti. When he turned 15, he and friend Curly Sardella quit working for Joe Sanguinetti and hired on with the government, shooting deer during an outbreak of hoof and mouth disease.
Curly used to laugh at all the time because he never could hit nothing with a rifle. Why would they hire Colin to do this? And that was a big joke on Colin all the time, because he said he never could hit anything with a rifle, and now he's got this job to go kill all the deer. And so it was just kind of a joke on him.
Colin entered many local rodeos around Tuolumne and Stanislaus County. He loved riding saddle broncs, but basically would ride just about whatever bucked, which sometimes would include Durham and Longhorn Cross cattle. In the 1930s and early 40s, Colin had a pack station and riding stable in Pinecrest. He would pack fishermen and deer hunters into the Immigrant Basin country. He was also one of the first to pack trout and stock some of the lakes in the back country. Colin married Jean Sunborg of Sonora in 1941 in Gardnerville, Nevada. They later had 3 children, Bill, John, and Judy. When World War II broke, Colin was called to duty and had 6 months to sell his pack outfit. He served as a sergeant in the Signal Corps. During the invasion of Attu in the Aleutian Islands, he was shot in the belly by a Japanese sniper. After recuperating, the Army made him a teacher in the Signal Corps. Colin returned from the war in 1945, where he and his wife Jean bought a small ranch in the Oakdale area while he was working for the H. Moffitt Company. He also continued to rodeo and enter jackpot ropings with partner Tony Amorell and many others. In the 1950s, Colin leased the Barnett Ranch and started running cattle. Part of the ranch he used for cows, which he ran there in the winter, and then summered in the mountains near Long Barn. He would leave his sons, Bill and John, in the mountain range to look after the cattle. The boys were 12 and 14 years old at the time, and stayed up there all summer long in a cabin that was built in the early 20s for the cowboys. The cabin had no power, with only a wood stove for cooking and a nearby spring for water. Those who knew Colin will remember his stud horse, Ottawa Star, an outstanding cow horse that also turned out to be a great rope horse for his sons Bill and John, and a barrel horse for daughter Judy.
I think Colin's main deal was honesty. You know, he talked to you, and what he said, he stuck with it, and he was just that kind of a guy. I mean, hard to explain, just everybody knew him, but he would sit down and talk serious with you, and the next he would be laughing and joking with him, you know. I mean, he was just and had a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things, you know. I mean, cattle, horses, the mountains, a lot of real interesting guy. You know, I mean, he was just a lot of fun to be around. He loved his brandings. He loved to go to the brandings and go to those, you know, and the barbecue and then talking afterwards, and you know, he just loved that part of it. You know, he liked that.
In 1968, at the ripe age of 60, Colin returned to his beloved mountains in Bear Valley, where he started yet another pack station and riding stable. But in the early 70s, he started turning over his interests to his sons. Colin Harvey definitely enjoyed life, and he had the friendships to prove it. The Cowboy Museum is proud to recognize Colin Harvey as our 2009 memorial recipient.